You're live. So here we go. Verbal. So verbal would be all the numbers from -1 to 4, including -1. Everybody agree with that? From -1 to 4, but not 4, but definitely -1. So set notation. So here's how you do set notation. Okay, if you're going to do set notation, you have to start with the little set symbol. Okay, has to be there. Okay, that's a little set symbol. Okay, so that doesn't look like a very good brace. It's a brace, but they get worse as we go. Okay. And so then you go to the set X, okay, and you put these little dashes. So every time you do set notation, you always start with this, okay, because it says something in mathematics. Remember, I majored in math so I wouldn't have to spell. So what this says in math is, given the set of X such that, okay, given the set of X such that, this little dot dot means such, okay, but you don't need to remember that. You just know that every time you start with set notation, you start with this, given the set of X such that, okay. Then we're going to describe it, okay. So it's -1. Less than or equal to X less than 4, and then close your set. Now let's see what that says, okay? If you have a hard time interpreting this, we can read backwards, okay? You can read math backwards. So let's read this backwards, okay? So cover this up. If I read this backwards, it says X is greater than or equal to -1, and that's what I have. You guys agree with this? Read it backwards. You guys see this? X is greater than or equal to -1. Okay, that's good. And then if I read this part of it, and less than 4, right? Now there's no equal sign. You see that? No equal sign of 4, right? Because it doesn't include 4, okay? So that's set notation, right? And that's still a little bit tedious, right? But if we want interval notation, that's one we like. You guys agree? Because interval notation would just be bracket because it includes -1, comma, 4, and parentheses, right? So much easier, right? So much easier. Thumbs up? Okay, now this one's a little trickier, the set notation. We'll practice set notation, okay? Okay, example 2. Describe the set in interval notation and draw a number line. Okay, so first of all, interval notation. What might be easier is if I do the number line first. Okay, I'll do the number line first, and then I'll do interval notation. Okay, so number line, let's go -3. We'll go 1, and you guys know all the numbers in between. You do not have to put all the numbers in between, only if you want to. But I know by the time you're sophomores, juniors, in high school, you kind of know what the numbers are in between, right? Right, Nate? You're good on that? Of course you are. So, if this little less than or greater than symbol here doesn't have a little equal sign, then it doesn't equal it, right? So I got to go an open circle there, all right? I'm going to go an open circle there. And it does have a little equal symbol on the 1, so I'm going to go ahead and make that solid, okay? Everybody good on that so far? That makes sense, right? Okay, then what I'm going to do is, if I read it correctly, and I read it backwards, right? Let's read it backwards. Okay, X is greater than, it really does say greater than -3, but it's also less or equal to 1, so it's everything in between, right? So it's just shading and everything in between, okay? So it's greater than -3, which I have it. No equal sign, because there's no little equal sign, so it's an open dot. And then it's going to be equal to 1, but everything less, okay? Thumbs up so far? Good. And then in interval notation, that's the easy part, right? We'll go parentheses -3, comma, 1, bracket. Bracket because it includes the 1, but does not include the -3, right? Okay, how am I doing? All right, now, example 3. There's 2 parts. So we have to go ahead and include this, and we'll see all of this or this, right? Come on up and grab the notes. I started because right here, okay? So I've got to be able to make, because there's 2 different shades, I've got to be able to say something twice, all right? So first of all, let's do interval notation first, and then I'll come back to set, because interval notation's easy, okay? So let's do interval notation on this. So I'm going to go and do this part first. So I'm going to go, all right, I'm going to go parentheses, -4, comma, -1, parentheses. Now, what's odd for kids is it almost looks like I'm describing a point, doesn't it? Like the point -4, but it's not, because it says interval notation. So it really is, you know, from -4 to -1, right? You got that? And then we're going to say or. So we just use the word or because we're going to do this. So our answers are here, or our answers are here, okay? Or we're going to go bracket 3, comma, all the way to infinity, right? And parentheses because you can't get to infinity. So that's it. Okay. How am I doing? Doing okay? All right. Now, how do I do this in set notation? Well, the same kind of thing. I'm going to have an or statement in there. I'm going to have an or in there. So, okay, set notation. So start with given the set of x such that. So anytime you see set notation, just start right there. Bam. Okay. Anytime you see set notation, just start right off with that statement. Okay. Set notation, and it says given the set of x such that. Okay. Now, we've got to go negative 4 is less than x, which is less than negative 1. Okay. And if you read this backwards, it makes sense. Read backwards, x is greater than negative 4, yeah, that's good. If I read it backwards, x is less than negative 1, okay? So you read it backwards, cover it up, read x first, that makes sense. Now we're going to say or, because we've got to jump from here. Got to jump from here to here, so we say or, okay? So we've got the first number line piece done. We're going to go or and describe the second piece. I'm going to go bracket because, oops, I am on the wrong thing. Sorry about that. Let me erase that. That's not right. I'm doing set, I'm not doing interval. So I'm going to go my 3 less than or equal to x, which is less than infinity, okay? Right? But there's a better way to say that, because you don't really need to see infinity. So what would be easier to say on this last piece is just to, I know I've got pins, sorry, let me erase, sorry. What would be easier is just to say the obvious, really the obvious is just, we're just going to say, or x is greater than or equal to 3. Wouldn't that include infinity? Wouldn't that include infinity? Now that other piece was not wrong. If you put it with infinity in there, it's not wrong. But it would be easier to say greater than or equal to 3, and that would be all the way up there, right? All the way to infinity. Okay. Okay. Roster notation, all right? Okay, describe the set of ages in this classroom. Okay, so we're going to go set. If it's roster notation, we go set. Let's see. Is anybody 14? Okay, we got 14. Nobody's 13, though, right? 14. 15, of course, right? 15. We've got to have somebody in here 15. They're all getting their pictures taken, right? 16, right? 16, right? Yep. 17. I know we got some 17, yeah. 18. And 57. Oh well. I know, but you know, what's the alternative? Really, it's either get old or what's the alternative? Don't get old? What's that mean? Yeah, may as well just get old, right? May as well just get old, right? So, so on a number line, so I'm going to go and I'm going to put down my 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I'm going to make my number line a little bit longer. Put 57 way up here. And so I'm just going to put a single dot, because we're not talking about, 14 years old and 6 months and 27 days and 52 minutes and 33 seconds, 34 seconds. Which is, okay, you're just 14, okay? Good enough, right? 14, dot on 15, dot on 16, dot on 17, dot on 18, and dot on 57, okay? So that's roster notation. Isn't that easy? You just list them, right? And then as far as a number line, it's just dots. It's dots because these are numbers. We're not talking about 14 and a half. We're not talking about 15 and a half. We're just talking about 14, 15, 16, 17, right? Just those specific numbers, okay? Am I good? Thumbs up so far? Okay, thumbs up. In case you want to just grab the notes, and then what I can do is just, give you a copy of when I'm done, okay? Okay. Oh, bummer. Okay, turn the page. Okay, but I'm recording it too, right? Yep. Okay, so here we go. List the members of this set. So what the heck? That looks like math. Ooh, uh-oh. That looks like algebra. That looks scary. What the heck does that say? Anybody have a clue? It's okay if you don't, because I'm going to help you. What do you think?
It just says put 2 on number line.
Yeah, so we're going to put, but what is this? Remember this from yesterday? What does this mean? What's that? Natural numbers. Remember that from yesterday?
1, 2, 3.
So if I put 1 in here, what do you get for an answer?
2.
If I put, what's the next natural number?
2.
So if I put 2 in here, what do you get?
4.
What's the next natural number? So if I put 3 in here, what do you get?
6.
So what's the next natural number? So what's our set going to be?
2.
2. 6, 8, 10, 12, right? Isn't that it, right? So, I mean, if n is really equal to the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, dot, dot, dot. You guys agree with that? N represents the natural numbers, right? Then I plug in 1, I'm going to get 2. So my set's going to be 2. Put in 2 and I get 4, right? Put in 3 and I get 6. Put in 4 and I get 8. Put in 5 and I get 10. And then so forth and so on, right? Okay. How many, easy question. How many numbers am I going to have? Infinite, right? Infinite. Okay, so if we got to make a number line, we got to figure out how we're going to do that, right? So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and make myself a number line. Just go like that. Right. And I'm going to go 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, maybe 12, okay. There is no 1, there's no 3. I mean, these are just 2, right? 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, okay? Now, I need more numbers, right? I got to have a whole bunch more numbers, so how do I show that? I mean, it keeps going. 14, and I don't want to make, I mean, good lordy, I mean, how long do I have to make this number line? That'd be ridiculous, right? So what do you think we should do to show that pattern continues to infinity? Arrow, right? So what are we going to do with our arrow? We're going to make our arrow dark. So we make this arrow dark like that. And then a big dark arrow says, hey, this pattern just continues to infinity, okay? That makes sense, you guys. That makes sense, right? Big dark arrow says just keep going, 2, 4, 6, 8, and 2 infinity, okay? All right, last but not least, we're almost finished. Okay, we're going to graph this on a number line first, and then we're going to put it in interval notation. Am I doing okay? Everybody, give me a thumbs up, sideways, where you at so far? Thumbs up, so everybody thumbs up, okay? Good, okay. All right, let's go ahead then and do a number line, okay? Do a number line. All right, do my number line. I'm going to have negative 3 on there, okay, so I'm going to put my negative 3. And I'm going to have my 2, okay. I'm going to do at least a couple of things that's going to help me out. I'm going to put an open circle here. Do you see an equal sign? There's no equal sign there, so I'm going to put an open circle here. I'm going to put a closed circle there because I do see a little equal sign. So it says it's going to be, see negative 3, but it doesn't equal negative 3, but I see the 2, but it does equal 2. So for sure I'm going to do this. Okay, so I'm going to go boom. I'm going to go open circle there. Go closed circle there. Okay, everybody good? Now, let's see if we read this backwards. Okay. All right. Can anybody read that to me backwards? What's that say backwards? Read it backwards. X is what? It's not greater than 3. Because remember, the little guy bites the big guy. Little guy bites the big guy, right? So what's it say? Read it backwards. X is smaller. So it's less than. Which way am I going to shade then? Yeah. Okay, so what's smaller than negative 3? Well, negative 4, negative 5. So I'm actually going to shade this way, aren't I? Right? How am I doing? So let's read this one. Okay, cover it up. What's this say? Read it, X. You don't have to read this one backwards. You just have to read X first, okay? What's X say? Read it. X is what? What's bigger than 2? 3, 4, 5. So let's shade this way, okay? How am I doing? Okay, this one's a little bit harder, right? But you have to be able to read backwards. So you read the X first. If you read the X first, X is less than negative 3, right? Read the X first. X is greater than negative 3. So they're going in opposite directions, right? So I have two, remember, two shadings. So I'm going to have to say some or thing, right? I'm going to say blah, 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 or blah, blah, blah. You with me? I'm going to say blah, 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 or blah, 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 okay? Now, what do you think blah, blah, blah is going to be? Ben, what would you say? What would you say? What's the very last number here? What's the very last number here? Yes, negative infinity. So let's go negative infinity. I totally agree. Can you ever get there?
No.
So let's use a parentheses, right? Comma, negative 3. Parentheses, right? Parentheses, right? Okay, now we got this piece done. Everybody okay with that piece? So I go or, because I'm going to jump from here to here. Okay, or. We'll go bracket 2, because it does include 2, comma. Easy question, Ben. What goes here? Infinity. Can we ever get there? Nah, so it's a parentheses. Thumbs up? Okay, so we have tons of time. Well, we've got like 13 minutes, which is plenty enough time to get a good start on the homework. So page 10, 6, 9, 16, 19, and 21, okay? So let's get started, huh?